Welcome back. SAFL week 3, Adam? Is it week 3, Adam? You tell me.
We're coming on to week 3 now.
All right, we are on to week 3. Week 2 is in the books, ladies and gentlemen, and we are getting started on the podcast. Welcome, everybody. This is your commissioner and host, Burhan, with our other commissioner and host, Adam Body. Adam, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. I'm Adam. I'm your commissioner.
Yes, we will see if Fabio will join us tonight, and we will have a few other participants who will join us in our venture tonight. So let's get started, Adam. Big week this past week. We had a bunch of amazing games, D1, D2. We both played. We both kind of lost. That's so sad, Adam. We lost, Adam. But why don't we start with D1 games, get a quick breakdown for it, and we'll go from there. All right. So first game, Cobra Kai versus Gators.
That
it was
game was
46 to 40. Sorry, Adam, 46 to 40. And tell me, what do you think about the game?
I thought that game was super exciting. I caught probably most of the second half. Cobra Kai and Gators have been like one of those games that's like fun to watch every year for the last few years now, but Gators have had their number. So it was cool to see Cobra Kai finally get one over the hump against them and do so in, I guess, a braggadocious way. They had a little chippiness towards the end of the game, which is never that bad depending on where it goes, but it was a really, really fun game to watch. Those teams are really, really good throughout the season.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, listen, you're talking about basically the two best teams. I just thought, Dean was there, all hands on deck. They were missing Shady, but I think, still, Cobra Kai still did put on a show. So, for us, I thought, these two teams are going to play again. I thought that it could have went either way. I mean, it was 46-40, and I just had this really cool clip that I want to show. And hopefully, this, like, it was just really cool. I thought it was like
as Dean
to Will.
Yeah, I was there when that happened.
Yeah, I just thought that was really cool, and they're doing good things. So let's break down the game a little bit. Let's talk about some of the statistics from that game. So we had Dean. Let's find his statistics real quickly. And Dean. Great. Dean went for 26 for 38 with 6 passing touchdowns. Again, MVP type numbers, just like last year. I think he's going to be in the running. You had, Jaden Bennett, who's looking like one of the Rookie of the Year candidates. He had 2 touchdowns, 6 receptions. Excuse me. Anthony Cordaro, he came to the league last year. He had 6 receptions, 1 touchdown. So, the ball is being spread around on that side. On the other side, Cobra Kai has just like been pushing it. Yash, 23 for 33, 7 touchdowns. What I really saw, what was this guy? I saw a guy. It was crazy. He was like 7 feet tall, crazy. His name was Jarrell James. I think he's a superstar. You, I think, played with him in the past. Tell me about him.
Yeah, I mean, Jarrell's a stud. I mean, he's one of the players that your eyes go to when you get on the field just by like how big he is as a person. He's one of those game-changing dudes. And, you're just going to have to find a way to react to him and defend him. There's not much else that you can say about that. I think him and Cal on Cobra Kai are really the 2 game changers that they've brought in, along with guys like Anthony Lewis, who's also a stud who I've played with in the past. Cobra Kai really reloaded this year, along with all the weapons that they already had. So they're going to be definitely a tough out. I think we have them this week too. So we're definitely getting ready for that.
Adam is talking about his D1 game against Cobra Kai at 10:30 a.m. at Eisenhower Park. Just going back really quickly, you mentioned Cal. His name seems to come up a lot now. He had 4 touchdowns, 9 catches. I mean, Yash was here last week talking about how it's like a new toy for him. And I know, you and I have actually seen him in other leagues. So, just really quickly, just tell him tell us about, your thoughts on Cal.
Yeah, he's like one of those unassuming dudes that you see on the field and he looks like everybody else. And then before you know it, he's caught 3 touchdowns over your head. I mean, there's not much else to it. He's a superstar. I think he's one of the top 5 receivers in this league. Really, really good hands, underrated speed. He's a really tough cover. He makes every offense that he's on better. And he doesn't fold in crunch time moments. So, I mean, he's the exact type of player that you want on the team because he'll make your team better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cal is looks like a superstar, maybe MVP candidate, along with some of the quarterbacks. I wanted to share a quick graphic for us so we can just get a glimpse of what we're talking about. Cal right now looks like, he's leading the league in touchdowns and played 2 games, has 8 touchdowns. And right behind him, we have, Don Rickey with 4. So half is, so he's doing pretty well for himself. He's also leading the league in receptions, second, next to Joe from QD. And then, again, he's also probably doing it on the defensive side. Maybe not a defensive leader, but definitely on the offensive side. So it's great to see him really coming in, stepping up and doing his thing. All right, Adam, let's move on to the next game from last week. Excuse me. We had primetime was Floral Park. Again, 24-19. I mean, every game is close. Even the next game we'll talk about, AKQD, that's another game we'll talk about. But 24-19, you were part of the game. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, these were 2 teams that struggled the first week. Both took L's. And I think, Primetime's veteran savvy kind of came through in this game, particularly in this league. Not to say that Floral Park isn't loaded with veterans and a team that has chemistry, because they are. But, in this game, it really came down to a couple plays. I suspect nothing less the second time around when we play them again. Floral Park's going to be one of those teams that gels throughout the season, because I know Don has taken on some new receivers. And the thing about Don, he's a pretty particular quarterback. He likes his routes run a certain way. But once the system gets going, the system really works. So I suspect them to be a tough route the second time around, and we got away with one, last Saturday, and I hope we can keep it up. But they're going to be a tough one the second time around and for the rest of the season.
Tell me in that game. I mean, you had some new players. Ken was missing from the game, but anyone in particular that you want to shout out, and give some props?
Yeah, I think the chemistry between Don Senior and Don Junior is really, really impressive. They're on the same page all the time. Don Junior is a great receiver, really good hands catcher, and Don seems to deliver the ball exactly when he needs to. There were a couple timing routes that really worked in their favor against us. So I think that connection is going to be one of the better ones throughout the season, and hopefully for more seasons to come. But I definitely want to shout those 2 out because they looked really good last Saturday.
Great. Prime time, like I said before, takes on Cobra Kai, 10:30 a.m. at Eisenhower Park. And Floral Park takes on QD, 1 p.m. That's going to be an interesting matchup. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But we'll move on to the third game from D1, AKQD, 26-25. I mean, like I said, every game, it seems like it was within 6 points, Adam. 1 touchdown in D1. What is that? Tell me about it.
About the point differentials or about the game?
Let's talk about first the game, and then we'll talk about the point differential.
Yeah, sure. So I don't know too many individuals on QD yet. I'll change that in the coming weeks. But what I've seen of them is they're a really good team. They've played the Gators and AK down to the wire. Now, AK was missing Simba, which is obviously like a huge X factor, probably one of the bigger ones in the league, if not the biggest. So I do want to keep that in mind. But listen, AK, regardless of who's throwing for them, whether it's Amnit, Manjot, like there are no slouches. They still got studs everywhere. So QD keeping up with them this time around is really impressive. I'm super impressed with what QD has put on the field. They came into the league super last minute. They had to kind of pull strings together to make it happen, and they've been able to give everyone a run for their money that they've faced so far. So hats off to them. I expect them to gel throughout the season. And look, on AK side of things, I mean, this is like a pretty impressive turnaround. Like we always knew they were better than what they put on the field last year, but I think between injuries and some attendance issues, they weren't able to get it going this year. They really seem to have cleaned it up this year. The addition of D-Raj is obviously one to take note of. And they all look healthy. They all look fast. They're studs. They're going to be there at the end of it all.
Absolutely. And, picking up D-Raj, I mean, obviously he's doing an incredible job as he does every year. And the one thing, I will say is AK is just one of those type of teams that it's kind of like no matter what happens, they stick together. I want to play the quick player of the game for Phil and Manjot. So let's look at that really quickly.
I'm not sure the audio is rolling through.
All right. Well, hopefully the audio did come through, and Adam was wrong on that. Hopefully, but it's all right. Adam, it was a great game. Again, 26-25. QD, hang in there. You'll see all these guys again.
Yeah.
Going back to kind of what we were starting discussion on. So what do you think about first off, like D1, the competition level, the guys that are coming across? Tell us. You're playing in it, so you're in it.
I mean, when we decided to come up with two divisions, it was really for what is coming to fruition on the field, right? Traditionally, for those of you who don't know, this league has been quite top heavy, with a few select teams being really good and the rest. I don't want to say they were bad, but they certainly weren't there yet. So every couple of games, at least once or twice a week, you'd have a pretty major blowout. And while that's good in some cases for teams to work on things and like learn where their weaknesses are, it doesn't create for a fun product all the time. So we decided this year to split those teams up and allow the teams that have really flourished and matured to go against teams that have done the same, while the teams that need to grow, figure out who they are, can do that in a still competitive environment, learn how to win. So what we've seen with D1 is exactly what we expected. These teams have stepped it up in terms of their roster, and the games have showed for that. I mean, Burhan, you're there. I don't think we've seen a bad game yet.
No.
Every roster spot is filled with somebody really talented. So it's been a good development for our league, I think, and I think it's a blueprint for future successes.
I totally agree, and a lot of the credit does fall on your shoulders, Adam, and so everyone in the league thanks you, including me. So thank you for all you do. Guys, any issues, whether it's about players, rosters, anything that has to do with the SAFL and everything that's Adam's the guy. So please talk to him. He's really trying to do all that. So Adam, we will now move over to D2. The games. We had Thunder versus Browns, Balls Deep versus Titans, Sleepers versus Suicide Squad. We will start with Thunder versus Browns. Tell me about it.
Sure. Quick point of order. Burhan and Fabio are still my bosses, so don't let his messaging fool you.
No one's anyone's boss, Adam. Stop.
We're all group.
No, we work together.
But Thunder and Browns, yeah. So, the Thunder are a team that have been around for a while. They came in and out of the league. And this year I decided to try to QB. That's not my natural position. It's one I'm learning on the fly. And it shows on the field. But the Browns, look, they're a veteran roster. They've played together for quite some time. They scrimmaged with one another, and their chemistry showed. I mean, look, Rob says that he lost a step, and perhaps he has, but he's still a stud. I mean, he's a great defender. I don't think I got a single completion on him, maybe one or two. And so he'll throw the ball really well. They have a couple of new guys that came along and looked really good. So their maturity, their savvy, and their play calling beat us. I mean, I think Thunder had a couple moments and bright spots that we can really latch onto in terms of improvements from the prior week even. But I think the Browns are one of the top D2 teams. And in terms of my team, just a quick point of order, I'm being sincere when I think when November rolls around, we'll be one of those teams that really turn it around, not in just D2, but in the entire league. I'm pretty confident in that. I think we got better by the drive last week. And once we get some full attendance in, we'll be really, really good. So hang in there, guys.
Thunder, hang in there. You have a great leader. He is making moves. I am telling you, he tells me things that he doesn't tell anybody. Not even his girlfriend.
Not even her.
Adam, awesome. We'll get back to that. I wanted to just reflect on your game this week, Thunder versus Suicide Squad and Thunder versus Titans. You will be playing a doubleheader.
Yeah.
We will talk about the games, but I just wanted to let the people know. We will go over now to Balls Deep. First, the Titans from last week. The score was 38-13 Titans. Balls Deep, had a nice win last week. But this week they did run into the number one squad, which is, to the record, I'm not saying that they're the best. That's not me saying it. It's the computer guys saying it. So, Adam, both of us kind of, know these guys on the Titans now. We scrimmaged with them preseason and all that stuff. So, this game kind of, and it's, what I really loved. I actually told this to Sofan, the captain of the Titans. I was like, guys, what I really like about you? You guys, when you guys are watching other people's games, you guys are like just here, like in the corner together, tight, and like talking and this and that, and just seeing what's going on. So I thought that was really cool that the chemistry that they built so quick was like kind of awesome. So yeah, let's talk about this game, 38-13. Thoughts?
Yeah. So first, I agree with you. I think Sofan's a really, really good leader. They have a good one in him to man the helm and throw the ball. I think that Balls Deep ran into a buzzsaw. I mean, my eye tests tell me that the Browns are at the top of the division, but I think the Titans are right there, if not a little better. They have a lot of speed. They have some studs on that team. And if they can continue on this path, I think they're going to be the top dog when it's all said and done at the regular season's end. And in terms of Balls Deep, I mean, look, last week they beat us, two new teams, but this week they ran into a well-oiled machine. I think they just got to lick their wounds, learn from their mistakes, and keep going. I mean, between Ali and Isaiah and Sofan and a few other individuals on Titans, like that's a really good team with not just football players but athletes. So you got to come ready to play when you play them.
Absolutely. The Titans are full of athletes. We had, again, Isaiah, free agent that came into the league. And then just, a bunch of guys, a bunch of mostly free agents being put together.
Yeah.
And then just, again, leadership by Sofan. He's doing a great job. So shout out to him. Titans, I mean, I think the one difference between the Browns and the Titans is the veteran experience. So let's see if that ends up playing a role in the future of the games, because, again, a guy like Sohail, he knows our rules in and out. So, maybe that'll come into play. Maybe something else will come to play that, he may have some, just veteran knowledge and just the guys, just being in those situations, championship games, big time championship games, so
yeah,
let's see if that plays out, when they play each other. They're playing each other, not next week, but they are playing each other quite soon. So hopefully that will be an amazing game. And maybe it'll even be a undefeated versus undefeated.
Possibly.
Now, that would be cool.
Yeah. And listen, Sofan is no rookie himself either. He knows what he's doing out there. So I don't want to take his veteran savvy for granted. He's also a very, vet to have out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sofan, keep doing what you're doing. Titans 2-0. Browns 2-0. Sleepers creeping up. Speaking of sleepers versus Suicide Squad, 27-7.
I'll actually pass that to you since you were there.
I was there. I almost refused to watch. No, I will say this. Listen, the sleepers, they came out. They came out with a purpose, and they wanted to show the league, that they are a great team, which they are. They have good leadership in Ryan, and they have a bunch of guys around them that are just happy to be in the league. They are new to the league, so it's even more exciting for them. Whereas, it's funny because a lot of guys, when they come into the league, a lot of guys have just a chip on the shoulder. And I'm telling you, man, these guys are just, I put them in my top 3.
Yeah.
They have a loss, but I still put them in my top 3. They play really, really well. Michael, Brandon, Brian, all these guys are really playing. And then, of course, quarterback play, Ryan, he had a great day. Again, they came out with a purpose. They took an L week 1, but after the game, I spoke to Ryan a little bit. I was like, and he was like, listen, week 1, we were missing some guys. Now that we kind of have because from what he tells me, they're a defensive team. So for them, that's a really good situation right now for them. So on the defensive end, they had 5 picks this past weekend. Did you know that?
Wow, that's awesome.
5 picks. So they're definitely doing something right. They had 1 for a pick 6. They got it done against us. I give them all the credit in the world. I think they're a great team. I really hope that they do well. Except, of course, against us again. Hello. But again, I do think that they're doing really well, and I think that Browns, Titans, sleepers. Those are my three teams right that I really like right now. So good luck to those guys. They do take on Balls Deep this week.
Interesting. Both teams better come ready to play.
I think both teams are ready. Both new teams are coming to play this week. So I really look forward to watching that game, Adam. And now we will go into this week. But before we do that, Adam, let me I got to do this because I've been doing this. I put a little music on. It's a little music. You don't like music? You don't like music, Adam?
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it was great.
No. What I really want to do, I do want to bring in the man himself.
Oh,
the man himself.
I get entrance music that's the entrance music you choose for me?
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't get The Rock.
Man.
Give me some mellow elevator music. What is that about?
All right, there you go.
All right,
there you go. Okay, Fabio. And now making his way down to the ring.
There we go.
Weighing in at.
It's a little better.
Fabio.
What's
up, my friend? How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We are doing good. I'm doing good. Actually, I don't want to speak for Adam, so I'm doing good. Adam, I didn't really ask
having
you.
a great time. It's good to see you, Fab. How are you?
You too. It's great, man. You too. Good to see you guys. Always a pleasure.
Fabio, thank you for joining us. We missed you last week on the field, but you will be there this week, correct?
Yeah. I wasn't able to make it. I had a prior engagement, but I've been looking forward to getting back on the field for sure.
Awesome, dude. Listen, I'm glad you're here. I know there were some changes this week regarding some rules or some clarifications on the thing. So why don't we just get right into it, man? Just tell me what's going on.
Cool. So, we had discussed a couple of different things in the past, and I know that some guys are very eager to try to get things fixed right away or just upgraded or updated, and we're doing the best that we can, and I think that's a lot of guys hopefully have noticed the big improvements that we've made this year. A lot of thanks to everyone that's been involved with Tarek as well, everyone that's contributing, helping us out, and of course you guys, endless hours of just doing things. So with all that being said, part of what we did talk about also was kind of taking also a look at the rule book, seeing what maybe was either a little bit outdated or look at that. I mean, we get notes and everything. We get, talk about upgrades, right? I mean, come on. just looking over the rule book. And I think for those that don't know, I think most do already at this point. But I'm stepping into the reffing field here for this league, and I think that it works out for everyone, really. It allows me to be more involved in more games. As a player, really, I would mostly focus on my game, but as a commissioner, I think that in this position, it allows me to see more of what's going on, be more involved in the game, take a little more control over things that maybe we need to get a little bit more of a grip on. I know that, that a couple of people have spoken about just the time issues that are happening, and that is something that we are looking to improve on, and that if I can help it, at some point, we're going to do things to upgrade it. But that's a little bit further down. So in reference to what you had said in terms of rule changes, we did send out a post recently, earlier today. And one of the things that we talked about was we were talking about, well, first we changed the rule about a team not being able to, so a 2-point convert on an extra point, right? They can't not have the ability to go again or automatically get those points without actually earning them. So we changed that, if you remember correctly, for the extra point after the touchdown, right? So if there's a penalty, then it'll be like half the distance, but they'll have to retry it, rather than did I lose everybody there? Or
we're here. We're here.
Okay. Rather than them just getting the point, you got to earn it, kind of thing, and there's really no rule in the NFL, which we try to do the best we can emulate NFL, right? I mean, obviously it's not the same, but to some degree we try. So that was that rule. And then just looking back at the stuff that we sent earlier today, we also discussed, let me go back and take a look exactly so that there's a lot of things that we've been going over, right? We discussed flags, right? We discussed the fact that guys need to have all flags. Guys on the field that are playing have to have a flag on. We run the risk of like whether the guy touched me or he didn't touch me because my flag wasn't on. And so we understand if it's one thing if a flag falls while you're running, right? But it's another thing if you're starting to play and there's no flag. So, guys have to have a flag on. If not, there's a 5-yard penalty for every player that does not have a flag on. So that's one thing we kind of added. We just wanted to have that there. So securing your flag, making sure that it's over, the jersey that you have on. Sometimes it gets hidden under a shirt and it's harder to pull the flag. So we're just trying to talk about that and make sure that guys are doing that. Also, I know we ran into a little bit of this last year. We're trying to avoid it, so jump ahead of it now. Guys cannot twist the belts, right? Like you cannot twist the belt onto itself. It has to be just clipped on the way that it's meant to close. You clip it onto the belt on the other side and you kind of just leave it like that, So we really just want to make sure that happens that way. And then we spoke about pass interference, so offensive pass interference. So there was a discussion I was having with a player this morning. And we were just discussing different things about what we can do to make the league better, what we can do to make plays better. And the one thing that we did discuss, and then also just with you guys as well, is we don't want like a game, let's say, to end or something to be finished with a penalty like that. That doesn't really happen. And so, in an offensive pass interference, let's say we're on 4th down, it's a big play, and there's an interference, and the way the rules was that's a loss of down, so automatically turn over a down, and that's the way you end that drive. That's not really how it should be. And so we want to see if we can maybe make an adjustment, and we'll see. We're not saying that we're always right in everything, but let's see how this works. So the idea for this one is it would be a 10-yard penalty if an offensive pass interference would be a 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, and then it's a redo of a down. So you give the offense an opportunity again, but after the loss of 10 yards, and then they get to try it again rather than 4th down, big play, and then turnover on downs, and then it's over. So that's the adjustment that we're making for this one, this year. Let's see how it goes. let's see if it's something that we see that's not working out, then we'll maybe make an adjustment. But it's just something that we're always trying to do to grow the league, right? And then so that was the main one for today. And then we talked about shirts that we do want to let people know, and we want to have our league be more organized. We're doing a lot of video. You guys are doing such a phenomenal job with the social media aspect of this league. And I think our ultimate goal is really to try to grow this league and make it as much fun and competitive as possible. And I think one way to do that is to have everybody like in uniform or in sync to some degree, right? Like, let's represent what we're proud of and where we play. A lot of times, like my son, he goes to a soccer game, he has a soccer shirt, and it says a jersey and it says the name of the place or where it's from. And we go to 7-Eleven, we do this, do that. And boom, you're representing, what you're wearing, you're representing what you're doing. And so we take pride in all the time and effort that we spend on this league. And so we want to be able to have that and represent. And so we don't want to be representing other leagues when we are recording, and we're taking that time into our social media and further growing. And I think the guys understand that. So we're asking guys to wear, for this year, wear what we ordered, or I know we said if you wear a same color, or something that represents the league, at least that you've played in with our league. So we're essentially asking that nobody play with another league shirt on, in our games. I think that's a fair request to make.
Absolutely.
No one do that. And we're not trying to be like, hard asses or whatever, but we really want to try to enforce that.
I am.
Yeah. Well, there is a consequence to that. I know, Burhan, I know you yelled at somebody, on Saturday to get.
Oh, you mean the man who shall not be named, a Nas? Yeah.
Oh, shall not be named a Nas. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. No, listen, I'll be honest. Listen, the guys have been doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone's being very cool and everything. So it's I think they're heading in the right direction when it comes to that stuff. I think, it's been made very clear. I mean, guys, like, we have, SAS, obviously I wear my shirt, for the podcast, but, we also want to make sure our sponsors get the shout outs. We also want to make sure that everyone that's involved, that's involved gets recognized the right way. So, Fabio, any other thing on the rules or anything else that you want to update us on?
Well, no, I think that's, unless I'm missing something, I think that's the main thing that we spoke about today that we want to try to implement. I know that we also are, I know that there's a couple of guys, one guy in particular that's just, really just being, just talking about the timing of the games, and we are looking into it. And yes, that this has been spoken about in the past, and we understand that. I just want to reiterate that we're coming from a place where we need to be able to have guys help out. And what do I mean by that? Nobody, we're never going to ask somebody to do something and it just be always for free. Like, no, once in a while, can you do us a favor here and there? Guys are very nice and do that. But if let's say we want to do a clock, we want to have a timekeeper. Well, we want to hire a timekeeper. We want to have someone that can come like a stat keeper, sit on the field with a nice big clock so everybody could see it. Maybe a ref or just a timekeeper himself will monitor, and everyone can watch like a basketball game, but outside in terms of time, or a football game, like a regular football game where you can see the clock, the clock. But we need money to be able to do this stuff. And I'm sure that guys may say things like, we pay and you guys should have, but believe it or not, things add up in terms of the fields, that we have to get the permits, and, we always try to do the turf for the championship and playoff games. So there are things that do add up. So we're just asking that, the guys be a little patient with us, and we're looking into what we can do with the funds that we have, so that we can make that situation better. So, we're looking into that for sure. So I'm excited about what that's going to be soon,
Well, Fabio, I appreciate your input. I appreciate you taking the charge on that. There's been a lot of guys that help out. Adam, any last words on the rule changes?
No, I think Fabio summed it up really well. So,
Alrighty. All right. Well, before we get into our predictions, I do want to just pull up our standings. D1, D2 standings, guys. All right. We're here. AK Sentali 2-0. Cobra Kai 2-0. They face each other in a couple weeks. Gators right behind them. Primetime right behind them. QD Floral Park, both 0-2. Somebody's got to win the game this week. So, I think that's going to be a great, great game. Possibly the game of the week. Since we're just talking about them, guys, why don't we start there? Guys, let's make this easy. QD versus Floral Park. Adam, go.
If you hold the gun to my head right now, I'm going to say QD. I think they're a little more dynamic on the offensive side of the ball, but that's not accounting for any type of chemistry that Floral Park develops. So my eye test tells me QD, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong on this one.
Okay, Fabio, go.
Well, QD has had some close games, right, against some good teams.
Absolutely.
So they're just waiting for that week to break out, and I think this is going to be the week they do it. I haven't, I'll be honest, I haven't seen too much of Floral Park yet. I'm looking forward to seeing them play. But just by the way that QD is keeping games close against teams that are very formidable, I'd have to go with Adam as well, and go with QD.
All right, you want to give me a score?
Are
you reffing this game?
Oh,
1
that's a
o'clock?
good question. No, 1 o'clock. No, I won't be. Not that game.
What games are you reffing? So
the first 3 morning games, I believe.
All right, so maybe we won't ask Fabio those first 3s because I know he's got a couple side bets going.
Right, right. Can't be, you know what I mean? Like conflict of interest, guys. Come on, we got to be legit here.
For me, game of the week, I think Cobra Kai versus Primetime. It's one of the games of the week. I mean, we talked about this last week. Every game is a game of the week, but let's just Cobra Kai Primetime. Adam, go. Tell me what's your secret weapon this week.
I can't comment on a game that I'm going to be playing in, so I would defer to you.
On conflict of interest, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So Fabio, what is he going to say? Cobra Kai. Come on. Let's
Fabio, I don't know. I could surprise you, but I did give you guys my prediction for the championship. So I so far I'm sticking with it. And if you guys that watched last week, I think you would know who I would be thinking is going to win this game. But I got to tell you, if last week was an indication of what Cobra Kai is doing, you know what I mean? Like they're making some serious noise, beating the Gators the way they did. That was it was a close game, but just beating the Gators is not an easy thing to do. So I'm very excited for that game. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
All righty. Give me a score.
Oh, yeah, it's conflict of interest. I can't do that. Sorry.
All right. So, okay. All right. So I guess we're not getting any scores tonight, guys.
Well, what about you, bro? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, you could do that.
No. I don't do that. I stay neutral. I gotta make sure everyone still loves me, man. Like I gotta stay neutral.
Right.
But if I had a gun to my head, okay, if I had a gun to my head, I'm gonna go with Cobra Kai. They're 2-0. They got some real cool weapons. I'm going to say final score 35-28 Cobra Kai. Waleed, do not text me, Waleed. Do not text me about how you're not picking me. Come on, bro. All right. Just kidding, Waleed. I actually think it's hilarious. And I appreciate actually Waleed always looking out for the league. Thank you for that. Gators versus AK. No more conflicts of interest. Just tell me. Adam, go.
I have a feeling the Gators are going to pull out a really close one. I think they're coming back a little pissed off, quite frankly, that they lost. And I don't think like AK will come out flat or anything. I think this will be a game that comes down to the wire. But ultimately, the Gators pull it out in a close one. I'm going to go 35-27 Gators. However, I will caveat it with this. If AK beats the Gators, I will probably change my tone the week after. That's a big prove-it game to me for them. If they can win this one, I'll start thinking about them in another echelon from the rest of the league.
All right, Fabio, what do you got?
Well, I think we spoke about this on how stacked AK is from top to bottom. I mean, but they're just filled with veterans and they're filled with a lot of talent. Gators always have, very similar talent as well. And, you have the leadership like Rami and he always finds a way to keep things close, and he's very competitive and a great football mind. It's going to be close, and I think it's going to be a high scoring game. But I'm still, until proven otherwise, I'm still going to give the edge to AK with that roster, and I'm going to go with a high scoring game, like 45-43. I think it's going to be something like that. Yeah,
that's big time. All right, boys. I appreciate your predictions for D1. Let's move over to D2 standings, guys. Titans, Browns, Sleepers, Balls Deep, Suicide Squad, and Thunder. All right, like we talked about earlier, guys. Titans 2-0, Browns 2-0. You know, they're the top dogs right now. Sleepers creeping up, Balls Deep. You know, they're creeping down a little bit since last week, I think. You know, and I guess in terms of power rankings, you know, we got Sleepers going up, Balls Deep going down. Suicide Squad kind of in limbo, just kind of trying to figure things out. And Thunder, you know the deal. So that's the standings from 1 through 6 on D2, guys. Titans, you know, they are putting up a significant amount of points as it seems. Browns kind of behind them, but you know, it seems like, you know, Titans do have scoring in their favor. Sleepers doing okay, Balls Deep, and Suicide Squad. Like, come on, dude, what are we doing here? What is this, guys? Guys, it's enough. All right, guys, predictions. Excuse me. All right, guys. Sleepers versus Balls Deep. Adam?
Yeah, I can go with this one. I'm actually really impressed with the Sleepers. I think we're sleeping on them a little bit. So I think they're going to win this one, and I think they'll win it pretty comfortably. I'm going to say 28-14 Sleepers.
All right. And Fabio, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because with Division II, the teams are still meshing and they're still gaining chemistry. So, you know, at any given week, things can just turn around in Division II. Unlike with Division I, where you kind of know what you're getting with these teams, Division II, you kind of don't know week to week right now. But with all that being said, I believe that Sleepers still, you know, looks like the more solidified team right now. So I'm going to give them the win this week as well, with a score of, let's say, 35-21.
All right. We will move on to the next game, Thunder versus Suicide Squad.
Adam, even though I don't think I was supposed to do that one, but that's okay.
It's all right. Don't worry. No one's really going to beat you down for that. And if they tried, I mean, we'll just see how that goes. Realistically, Adam, Thunder versus Suicide Squad, I think we both stay out of this one. Fabio, just give us a quick one. What do you think?
Well, I know that Thunder's putting in some work to try to improve their team, and I do like some players. I like a lot of the players, all the players really on the Thunder team. Great guys, good athletes. I'm hoping that they put it together, but I can't go against, my former Suicide Squad, literally Suicide Squad. So I got to go with Suicide Squad.
There you go. All right, Suicide Squad. Thunder versus Titans. Adam, stay out of it. Fabio, go for it.
So
it's a doubleheader week, by the way, just so to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah. So I think that the Thunder is going to be able to play a tight game against Suicide Squad, but that might take out a little too much out of them, and especially having to go against the Titans team that has been looking good. And so I will be, I'll be rooting for the Thunder to do. I'm always up for the underdog. I'm always rooting for the underdog. But if I was a betting man, which at times I am, I would have to go with the Titans.
All right. He's a betting man. I know because I played poker with him before and he's taking my money. Gentlemen, it's been a long night. We're 45 minutes in. And any parting words for tonight, gentlemen?
You know what? I'm sorry. So I did, and I hope that guys stick around till the end to watch this, because you did ask me about a few things in terms of rules. And so if they didn't hear it now, then hopefully, then we'll update them. I did mention it in the chat, but I do want to say things again. We did review some film, right? We look over some of the games, just check things out. And then we did see and captured certain things that we saw, like, some holding penalties or pass interferences and, things that, like, we get it. In the middle of a game, it's hard to, it's hard, and you're working hard to try to make a stop or whatever the case may be. But we are looking at that, and we want to just continue to remind you guys to, that, if we see it, we have to call it. It's only the fair thing to do. And, we're going to try to make sure that the league is as competitive, but also as safe as we can make it. And, the refs are just doing the best job that they can. They're not going to make and see everything. And me being a part of it now, I'm doing the same thing where I'm going to be as fair as I can be. I always am. I'm looking out for both teams at all times. And I think guys that have already seen me ref see that, I'm really not out there, to be malicious in any way whatsoever. I want guys to have fun, but things do need to be fair. So, so just know that, just keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And, and just go out there and be safe. Also, taunting, you want to celebrate with your team and enjoy it. Taunting another team, that could cause a penalty that will cause a penalty to happen. We just don't want to have that, that back and forth like that. But again, we understand there's fun, we get it, but let's just make sure that we're not crossing any lines. That's all.
All right. So Fabio wants to be fair as long as you pay him his money. And if you pay him a little extra, I don't know I don't know what happens then.
I don't know.
Just kidding, guys. Fabio, I appreciate you taking the time to ref for us. I know you care about the league. Adam, I know you care about the league. I care about the league. Us three as a tandem working as tandem has been extremely successful as the results have been shown. And, we're very results driven. So, you guys are hired. Guys, long night. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, Fabio, you got your parting words in. Adam, any parting words before we leave tonight?
Yeah, no, just thank you everyone who's made the start of the season really, really successful. I hope you guys feel how awesome it's turned out. We certainly think it has. And the goal is to grow this community as much as we can. So I hope you guys continue to have fun. I hope you guys come back season after season. And the three of us are here for anything you need. So just shoot us a text or see us on the field. But, stay safe and have fun out there.
All right, guys. Final word from me is, guys, keep in touch with us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of videos, a lot of content, a lot of people helping out this year with that stuff. Shout out to all those guys. Guys, I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys Saturday. And this is the LiveCast signing out for the night. Guys, see you next week.
See you guys later. Bye.